Hello and welcome back to the Note. Today has been a day for testing the bottom for world stock markets. There hasn't been a great deal of new news. What matters is whether the lows for the year that were set back in August could hold. So far they have, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the end of the story. Now, we started with a big sell-off in Asia, particularly in Japan, where the fact that they've lapsed back into deflation despite all the concerted efforts of Abenomics is plainly a cause for concern. Moving on to Europe, you saw an aggressive sell-off early on, but that was almost erased by the end. The main indices were only down slightly, and there was a nice big bounce back for the material stocks that had led the earlier sell-off, particularly, of course, Glencore. Then we come to the US, which after the Monday sell-off was very close to the low it put in back in August. And that low just about held after an extremely wobbly day. In the afternoon, as you can see, there was considerable selling pressure, but at that critical moment of truth when traders had to decide whether they were comfortable going home long or short the market, there was some buying. The S&P actually ended up very slightly up for the day without quite ever taking out that low from August. This isn't the end of the story. We have a lot of data to come, and the critical issue, I suspect, is how much the deflationary pressures that had such an effect on Japan, how much those deflationary pressures will affect the pricing power of US companies. For that, we will have to wait for the earnings season for the US S&P 500 companies, which doesn't start until the end of next week. But for now, the bottom has held.